the TV screen. Ky and Spider laughing loud, making quite a scene. Honeybee, she sneezes, laughter fills the room. Kahuna Nui steps in, chases all the gloom. Catalano TV, fun times, every blue spits alive. Friends just being who they are, stars under the same sky. Spider flips the channels, Kahuna Nui stays close. Joey strums guitar strings, Honeybee feels the most. Laughter echoes endless, stories in the blue. Ky and Honey dreaming, making moments true. Catalano TV, fun times, epic blues riffs alive. Friends just being who they are, stars under the same sky. Laughter echoes endless, stories in the blue. Ky and Honey dreaming, making moments true. Catalano TV, fun times.
And bouquets, beaches, welcome. I can tell it's going to be a great morning show today. And I want you to know, we're delighted you all made it in here. Got a good group started already. I can't believe it. It's wonderful. Ross Dogs, I also want you to know, based on your prompt, within a matter of seconds, that link was actually sent out to Big Shot. Now, he might get offended if you don't call him the commissioner of Catalano TV. Spider Alamar, Mr. Special Personality, Mr. Personality, Venom Spider. I don't know. The list goes on. Great to see you in here, Ross Dogs. I did email him the link. Now, that doesn't mean he's awake. That doesn't mean he'll show up, but he has the option. He's always welcome here. He was supposed to come on Monday, and of course he had some challenges with I think he just got way too hot. But within a day or two, he's out zipping around on his little electric scooter, which is really awesome. Those things are so much fun. Good morning, Gaseous. It's great to see you in here, Gaseous Clay, as I like to call him. He's got long hair. He actually did that because we told him the hair needs to be a little longer, and look what he did, man. Chileno, my Canadian friend, who's an Aboriginal Australian. Well, at least one night you were. Hope you're doing well. Great to see you. And don't forget to catch Joey's show. Starts at 9 a.m. Morning show with CC Joe and Kahuna Nui. They're doing great with their new show. And definitely this one runs right up to that one sometimes. Good to see you in here, Chileno. Hope you're doing well. Miss Honeybee says, good morning, all. Well, wait for the sneeze. It'll come a little later, probably. It's unplanned, but it's pretty sure to happen, I think. Dogs, how you doing? We got to give the proper. We have got to give the proper greeting to our friend Dogs. People have come to expect this, and well, we're not going to disappoint. What's that you said, Doc? I didn't quite hear you. Come again? Oh, yeah. Pi r squared. That's right. Yep, I get it. Great to see you here, donks. And Ram's picking my wife up again, holding her for 10 minutes. Eggplant Frank to the rescue. Where's Eggplant Frank when you need him? Just kidding, Ram. Great to see you in here, Ram. I hope you're having a great day, buddy. And, of course, Ross Dogs asking to send the link to Mr. Big Shot, and his wish was granted. Everybody's doing good. Ross, nice. Great to see you in here, Ross. I think it's just a matter of time before Jerry makes his way in. Although he may have been up quite late. Who knows? Yeah, it's all going good. It's okay, Docs. It's okay. I love it. Yeah. Miss Honeybee, she loves those miniature donkeys. We'll go to the zoo and she just they give you can pet the donkeys, they're pretty docile. And we go to the Cleveland Zoo and they got a section there with the miniature donkeys. They're a big hit. Yeah, send Jerry the link, Ross Dog says. Well, Joey C., my dear brother, will have the honor of first interviewing Jerry. And I'm looking forward to that show. I think Joey shows are more geared towards that type of material. He's got all that experience with Howard Stern. I think it really should be quite interesting to see that broadcast, which I'm really looking forward to. So you might ask, well, I'll tell you what. Let's start out with Ky's morning stretch. Some folks have reminded me we haven't done that lately. So if you don't mind, we'll take the left arm, stretch it out in its respective direction, along with a deep breath in while stretching it. Subsequent to that, we'll take the right leg, stretch it out in its respective direction. Deep breath in. Next, the left leg in its respective direction, stretch out. Some people call this the octopus. Deep breath in. And finally, the right arm, stretch it out in its respective direction. A deep breath in. And for a moment, at least a moment, think about something that you are thankful for, something you're grateful for, something that brings peace to your mind, that you say, I'm so thankful for this in my life. If you just think of something like that, you carry a cascade of events will happen. And some of that will be some oxytocin releasing in the brain, the sense of joy, happiness. And that cascade of events will help to carry you into a different state of mind, and you reframe the moment that you're in. And just being thankful and appreciating something special in your life will result in other things to be thankful for if you reflect and plan your day based on that sense of joy and wanting to accomplish or achieve something that you want to get to in your goals, so to speak. It's just a great way to start your day and move forward. It can make a huge difference. So I think of things that I'm thankful for every morning, and it just makes me more thankful. Jerry's in here. Jerry, how you doing? Hi, busy bees. Well, we're not the kind of busy bees like the ones from Gladiator, where that tyrannical leader didn't like the busy bees plotting behind him. Well, he was quite the character, wasn't he? Great actor, though. Great actor. Joaquin Phoenix. Eggplant, buddy, how you doing? Eggplant's in here. I wish we had a sound effect for Eggplant. Wonder what that would sound like. I guess it would be like boing, 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 boing. You know what I'm talking about? We got some of those sounds. How you doing, Eggplant? I hope you're doing great. He says, I wonder what today's show has in store for us. Well, you are part of the answer to that question, actually. The folks in the chat have a great impact on this show, and we're quite thankful for that. Sometimes we'll go into tangents based on what the folks are saying here, rather often, quite frankly. And Donkey says, "Good morning, Chelino, Kai, Miss Honeybee, Ram. Great to see you in here, Donks, man. The show's always better when you're here. Same with the naked man. Why do you say he's naked? Why, he's naked because he's in his birthday suit. And that's why everybody's always saying, happy birthday to Naked Knees." Hey, Terry, man. Brilliant guru of video joy and entertainment. Terry's always putting together something interesting. Who knows what he has up his sleeves? Well, nothing, of course, because he's not wearing anything. I'm thankful for Ky and Miss Honeybee in the morning. Terry, man, we're thankful for you, brother. I think that's abundantly clear. As terribly mean as you can be on occasion, putting that unspeakable noise into my ears on rare occasions. Uh-oh, I know what's coming here now. I'm going to hear these words that are just going to stick in your brain. We're thankful for you, brother Terry. Great to see you, man. Ross Dog's Broken Spirit says, Jerry agrees that Wesley Crusher was a horrible character. Yeah, I wasn't a big fan. I don't know. Yeah, I go along with that, Ross. I'll go along with that. Rostock says eggplant sound effects should be a dingo eating a. Oh, come on now. maybe a dingo eating a baby. What could we? Tasmanian devil. There you go. Sorry, I had to paint it dark, right? A dingo eating a baby Tasmanian devil. Oh man, that's funny, Rostocks. What does Eggplant Frank think of that? A dingo ate your baby, Tasmanian devil. Where's my baby? A dingo ate your baby. Rostocks, Terry, the Eggplant Frank, Jerry, good morning. Gaseous Clay is in the house, sporting the long hair. Crosstalk here. Here we go. Yeah, this is what I was expecting. Gnaw. I'm probably saying it wrong. I know. Sometimes you can get on it right. Donkey. Rostock, I have a pet dingo. Yeah, I think he said that before. I want to take a look at my dog. It's my pet dingo. Hey, come here, sweetheart. You want to meet my pet dingo? Is that what you say, Frank? No, Frank would say it. Hey, mate, you want to meet my pet dingo? All right, I'm not doing it justice. Got to practice those before you do them. Nice, Eggplant. That is pretty cool. What does a dingo eating a baby sound like different than a Ringo eating a baby? Well, I think the Ringo has the bigger nose. And it might have a better way of sensing, and maybe it might eat more often because of that ability to sense and smell. Nice day here today. High of 72. Oh, my goodness. Yeah, I think we're hovering around 69 right here, right now. It is a beautiful, cool morning. I think that was the words of Gaseous Clay, if I'm not mistaken, where he is. It's just a beautiful, cool morning as well. Eggplant says, well, half dingo. What, something to eat the other half? Well, it mated with a dog that wasn't half dingo. Interesting. That's pretty cool, Frank. You're natural. Said it perfectly. I knew you've been watching his videos. What? Oh, get off. I'm sorry I got that. Terry. Freaking love this dude, man. If you guys haven't checked out Terry's YouTube channel, you got to check it out. He puts out these little videos. The latest one is just it's just brilliant. It's got Kahuna Nui, Fireball Kahuna Nui, Fireball, Big Kahuna Fireball. I mean, yeah, I think he's going to get these nicknames coming his way, and rightfully so, man. It's epic moments. I mean, it's just really just brilliant. And Terry put together. He got the video of last Saturday morning's show with Kahuna. It's kind of doing a dancing in the seat kind of thing, and arms waving, face, nodding to music. He's really getting into the blues we were playing. He's like, "Come on, Ky, do something, do something." He's yelling at my image, my emoji. It was just, it made my day, man. It was so much fun. You got to check out Terry's channel for sure. Actually, speaking of channels, this is where I've got to remind the folks. I really don't want to be the kind of folks that harp and stuff, but I will ask folks to subscribe. The Ky and Friends show is going to be at some point solely on another channel. Certainly not walking away from Catalano TV. My dear brother Joey, I'm so delighted that we got monetized from all the hard work that Joey's put in with over the long time that it took to get there. And we will ask people, though, to please subscribe to our channel. And we've got the complete endorsement of my brother Joseph Samuel. And we're thankful for that. Very thankful for that. And so, yeah, we've got our own channel. So the show's going to be moving at some point. We were going to have our last show on Monday, and we were looking at the subscribers, and it's quite the challenge. We're learning that it's quite the challenge to do. We don't have the talent Joey does to burst onto the scene and gather thousands of subscribers in what seems like an instant, man. And so, we're doing the walk into trying to climb up that mountain that we have ahead of us. So I'll post the link here for the subscription. I know a lot of folks probably already are subscribed to us, but I've got to take a little bit of time to ask people, if you haven't subscribed already, please do. Certainly the like button helps, but yeah, the subscription, it really does help. So I'll stop talking about that. And I started out by telling you to subscribe to Terry because those videos are hilarious. I think there's some work that's coming out that's going to have Kahuna Nui in something like a roller coaster with the arms. I think that would be just perfect. Take like some of that AI tool like Viggle, for example. You can get a sample of a video where somebody's in a roller coaster and change the person to the Big Kahuna Fireball or Fireball Kahuna Nui or whatever he chooses to take the nickname. He may not want Fireball in his name at all. Eggplant Frank says, I'll post her on Twitter. I'll post her on Twitter. Oh, his dingo dog. Probably half dingo. Yeah, I would love to see that, Frank. That'd be cool, man. Yeah, thanks for doing that. Waver's in the house. Of course, when Eggplant Frank walked in, the room was complete. Of course, thank goodness Waver showed up too. Good day, Ozzy. Ky, Gaseous, and Jerry. I wonder if we got Kip 316 out there somewhere, just lurking, listening, or maybe Skip. One of these. We got so many Australian friends. Where in the world is Brent Monkhouse? I have something very specific to talk to him about, and of course to Ram and Eggplant Frank and Flex 316. I have something to talk to you guys about that I'm thankful for. Actually, sincerely thankful for these dear friends of ours, and I thought of them last night at dinner. So that's the hint. And we'll see if Brent makes his way in here so we can go into it a little bit more. Because Brent likes to rib me on what I eat. He seems to think that what these birds are eating is something to do with what I eat. Nah, I'm more likely to eat birds than to eat what birds eat. Right? I think most of the folks in here understand. Probably on the same page. Ram says, "Good evening." There's a little crosstalk. What would dingo taste like? I wouldn't. Yeah, that's not my. I wouldn't. I think dingo would taste like dog. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what dog tastes like. One of the phrases I've learned when I was in China, to me, was a pretty important thing to be able to say, because I was in some rural parts of China where some of the folks had never seen a Westerner before in their life, and they would just look you up and down because they never seen anything like it before. They don't have TVs. They live in the rural part of China. It's like, you're really getting close to third world as you can in some of those remote villages. Anyways, you go over there, and one of the important phrases that I learned to say was ho gao. Ho gao. Which basically conveyed that I have no interest whatsoever in eating dog. That was an important phrase to me. And it's funny too, because I told my I guess the best way to describe my liaison. I had a Hong Kong liaison that was a translator, and I told my translator, I'm like, listen, I know we're in a real small town, and I know there's probably only going to be one or two restaurants that we can even go to, right? I'm like, I don't want to eat any dog. I'm not interested. I keep an open mind, but eating dog, that's not something I want to try. So that was an important phrase for me to learn. Ho gao. Ho bao la. Ho bao la means I'm full. Ho bao la. Probably Cantonese. Anyways, pretty important phrase to me. I just, dog's my best friend, man. I ain't eating dog. Not gonna do it. You can hear there's a hunter on YouTube, and he'll hunt coyotes and stuff, and he'll talk about it. It's like, tastes like dog. Whatever that is. Dogs, probably baby. No, I don't even want to hear that word. It's like Chevy Chase spitting the tuna fish sandwich out of his mouth when Grandma says, "The dog peed on the picnic basket." He's chewing his food, looking at the lady across the way. He starts spitting the food out of his mouth while he's chewing. Freaking most funny scene. It's just burned into your brain. Ram asked, did we play that donk sound? We did. Ram, were you away for a moment, brother? Were you getting some tea or something? We did play that donk sound. But you know what? We like that donk sound so much. You want to make sure Ram hears you? Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's right. Yep. He wanted to make sure you heard him, Ram. I thought that was very considerate of him, don't you? You'll be wearing a disco ball helmet by September. Oh, Lord. Terry, will I lose all my sense of creative songwriting as well? Or will it just be pseudo enhanced? Destroyed, for that matter. I don't know. I don't quite get it, but somehow, some way, he has channeled Weird Al Yankovic into his act. That's what I'm going with, anyways. I know he's his own. He's his own. He's not copying off anybody, so to speak. That's clear to me. So far as I know. So far as I want to know. Happy National Potato Week, says Tonks. Well, that could be celebrated by our dear friends like Eggplant Frank. The potato. All right, potato. You just settle down, potato. I heard enough from you, potato. Joey quotes. Nobody does Joey as good as Shuley does. Cupcake does pretty damn good at it, though, if I'm being honest, right? I just heard it, big sister. Yeah. Yep, love it. Yep, and here's the link I put down for folks to subscribe. We're trying to get the subscribers up. We really appreciate the folks subscribing. Certainly liking the video. Doesn't cost you anything. It's a great way to say, hey, appreciate what you're doing. Terry Nee says, Solanum tuberosum. That sounds like a root vegetable. That would be nightshade tuber, which is a root vegetable, right? Solanum tuberosum. I'm going to have to look it up because Terry always asks me, I want to learn. There we go. Solanum tuberosum. Potato plant. Very nice. Do you eat the blue potatoes? Do you eat the purple potatoes? I don't eat any potatoes. No offense, people. Don't take offense to that, my dear nightshade friends. But that's pretty cool. You know, Terry's teaching us here. I wonder, how's your garden going, Terry? Let us know how the garden's going. I had some pear trees with broken branches, friend. I had such the abundancy of crops, and I did not venture out and support with ropes the branches together to pull them all together to support. And I got some broken branches on my pear tree, man. Kind of disappointed with that. Disappointed myself, but we'll get it. We'll get it. Solanum tuberosum. Donkey. Happy Potato Week. Sup, Ky, my brother? Anything planned for you and B this evening, my time? Well, I think we're going to go to a summer concert tonight. That's the goal. I've got a lot of work that I'm working on, a lot of work to do still for a project that's supposed to wrap up in fairly short order. But I definitely want to take my sweetheart to the summer concert. It's just a lot of fun. It's relaxing. You see the kids are running around having a blast. There's babies there. People bring their dogs. It's great to see all the different dogs. Everybody they bring their own chairs. You know, you sit down, listen to a local concert sponsored by local companies. You know, they'll say, hey, thanks for sponsoring this event. They'll mention certain companies that are in the neighborhood, you know. And it's just a fun time. People are there to have a good time, relax. It's just a lot of fun. And so we tend to try to go to those, and we might do that Friday night as well after the happy hour. So that's what we plan. Let us know what your plans are, Ram. Are you going to make some more videos, friend? Let us know. Rostock says, rest in peace, the victims of 1960 New Jersey shark attacks. 1916 New Jersey shark attacks. I'm not aware of that. Wow. It must have been a pretty big event for that to be noted like that. How many people, Rostogs? How many people were impacted by that? Waver says Flex 316 is probably surfing. Yeah, surfing away from the sharks, man. Hopefully. I didn't know Flex was a surfer, man. That's pretty cool. He's a great supporter of Catalano TV, just like you, Waver. We're so thankful for all you guys, man. Gaseous saying, hey, Waver. How about Skip? Skip's also an Aussie. Some crosstalk. Might go to some. Yeah, see, Miss Honeybee's. She's a step ahead of me, as usual. Waver. Hey, Ram. Warm hugs today. Your way. We got the best chat, I'm telling you. Salute. Salute, Gaseous. Salute. Cheers, brother. Thank you. A Gaseous ate. I got to read this right. A Gaseous ate my dingo. What happened? A Gaseous ate my dingo. Gaseous Clay ate my dingo. You know what he said after it? I am the greatest. I am the greatest. I ate your dingo. Love it, Terry. Eggplant Frank's like, ni hao. Or ni hao, rather. Yeah, right. Ni hao. Ni hao ma. Ni hao ma. Eggplant's showing and sharing his well, I don't know if it's guessing Cantonese. Ni hao ma. Laughs good on you, Kai. Good pronunciation, my brother. Wow, thank you, Ram. Yeah, well, if you don't want to eat dog, you better pronounce it right, huh? Leho ma. Ni hao ma. Josun, which is a lot better than saying Joe Tao. It means good night, but it also means something else. Well, it's not so nice. Oh well, I gotta watch talking like this stuff on YouTube, right? There's all kinds of ability to figure what language it is, and well, if you're pronouncing it good, you're in more trouble. Why you no like eat third world? Yeah, well, part of the reason is me no likes to vomit. That's one reason. Picky Western. Picky Western. Why you not eat, baby? Turtle. Crack shell, eat, yum yum. Ayu Bawan I means hello, Aya. Or hello, eh? I'm sure I'm pronouncing it wrong. Ayu Bowan Aya means hello, eh? Eh? Ayu Bowan, eh? Ross says, Kai, how long did it take you to dig to China from Cleveland? Well, let me tell you, on the way there, it was getting pretty hot, man. The Earth's core is really, really hot. I remember one of the engineering in engineering school, one of the challenges. Whoa! See, I told you that sneeze was coming. God bless you, honeybee. that sneeze made its way in. The professional sneezer does not disappoint. I remember one of the so based on this question from Rostock, he says, Kai, how long did it take you to dig to China from Cleveland? So in engineering school, they posed one of the problems is like, say there was a cavernous hole that went from where you're standing all the way down through the earth, through the core, all the way to the other side, and opened a hole all the way to the other side of the earth. And they said, ignoring temperature and heat, and you ignore friction from air. These are all important assumptions that simplify the problem. If you were to drop a ball into that hole, what would happen? And so, the center of the earth is the center of mass. And so you drop that ball to the center of mass, and it would continue to build up speed, until it got to the center of the earth. Well, it would probably reach a terminal velocity, but you're supposed to ignore air. So it built up speed till it got to the center of the earth, and then now it's moving away from the center once it's passed through. And now it's slowing down in speed because gravitation is having its reverse effect on it from the other direction. And then it would make it to the other way to where the other hole was if it was at the same exact elevation. And then it would stop at exactly the point at height. Like, say you're 6 foot tall and you dropped it from 4.5 feet with your arm into the hole. It would stop and hit zero velocity at 4.5 feet and exiting the hole on the other side. And then it would return back towards the center of the earth and just oscillate back and forth over and over. Interesting engineering problem that was posed back in school. Anyways, there's my tangent to that question. How long did it take you to dig to China from Cleveland? I'll tell you another thing, though, Ross. Those flights, man, those were long. Those are long flights. 24 hours in transit. I used to like it in the summer because you could get a nonstop flight from Chicago to Hong Kong. Man, that was sweet. That was only like, one season a year. You could do that. And that was really sweet because that is a long time to travel for work. That's in Singalese, brother. Yeah, I figured as much. Thanks for sharing that, Ram. Always like to learn new things. I wish I would hear you pronounce it so I'd know how to say it right. Maybe you should make a little video, Ram, where you telling people how to say certain words in Sinhalese, right? Or Sinhalese or Sinhalese. And you can even tell me how to pronounce that. I'm embarrassed to say. That'd be kind of cool, Ram. Waver says, sounds good, Ky. Miss Honeybee first, work second. Yeah, well, when you can do it, right? Sometimes you got deadlines and you're like, hey, babe, the sun's shining. I got to bale the hay. And sometimes that happens too, right? And I'm so thankful that she's so understanding. She's always reasonable. You know, that's a lot to be thankful for right there. That alone. It really is. It's a really, really special quality, the patience. The patience of Job. You're right, though, Ray. Waver, you got to take care of your gal, man. I will be making new videos week after from my park in Highbury Park. Looking forward to it. Be my big sister and brother Ky. Oh, cool. Look forward to your video, Ram. Let us know when that's up, man. Whoa, hen how, says Eggplant Frank. Whoa, hen how. I think that means you've got a big chicken and not sure how to cook it. It's really big, which is part of the whoa, hen how. Just kidding, Eggplant Frank. Having fun with it. But do give the translation for the folks. It's like when people say ni hao ma, it's like you're doing how question, like how are you, and the ma means question at the end, right? So wo hen how. Let us know. I can't say off the top of my head what it means. I'm going to learn something. Guess the niece was a crazy cabbie bit. Guess the Nessie was a crazy cabbie bit. Interesting. Educate me on this one, Ross Dogs. You've got a lot of vast knowledge on this subject. It's always interesting. I know you want to see Timmy, Cabbie's buddy, on, and Joey's talked about. I think we'll pre-record something so that we can, basically keep some control over it, so to speak, because it's a monetized channel now. And guess the Nessie was a crazy cabbie bit. Tell us what's that about, man. We can look it up, I guess, too. Miss Honeybee, thank you, Ky. You're welcome. Those kind words are more than earned. Bless you, Sis B. Yep. Gives big sister a tissue for that sneezer. Wow, that was a sneeze. God bless me. Yeah, I'm telling you, you would never. She's the shortest Viking you will ever meet. But I'll tell you what, when you hear that sneeze, yeah, you're like, yeah, that's Viking, right? I'm telling you. Thank you, brother Ram. Even I heard that, says Ram. Yeah, it's powerful. So why is gravity considered? Right, Terry. Yeah, everything else is ignored, right? Why would you consider gravity? Well, if you didn't consider gravity, well, when you let go of the ball, it wouldn't even enter the hole, right? There's no dropping of the ball if there's no gravity. That's a good question, though, Terry. How many things do you want to ignore to simplify a problem, right? That's often the case in mathematics too, right? When you're doing differential equations or calculus, you just make simplifications to say this is approximately 0, so we'll ignore this terms in order to solve the problem. And because it's such a small term, we can get away with that and have an accurate answer, or at least close to being accurate. It's kind of cool things when you can assume things are close to 0, certain expressions in an equation. But yeah, gravity's not exactly something we want to ignore, right? At least Isaac Newton and Galilei let him go. We will not let him go. Why? Because the apple. That's why. Terminal Velocity 1994, starring Charlie Sheen. Terminal velocity. Yeah, that's it. That's where the resistance of air creates a limitation as to how much faster you can travel through it, regardless of the acceleration of gravity. You get to a certain velocity, you can't go past it because the forces are balanced out from the resistance through the air and the acceleration of gravity. Terry Nee coming in here with Kai Chile Wodegao. I'm guessing it says Kai won't eat the dog. Kai Chile Wodegao. I don't know. I wish I could copy and paste that. For some reason, I can't copy the text in here. But Terry, let me know if I got that wrong. Kai Chile Wodegao. Kai will not eat the dog. Or else he's saying Kai makes chili with dog meat. Which one is it, Terry? Or Kai gets cold when others eat dog meat. I could be any number of things. Or Kai travels all the way to Chile to eat dog in a Chinese restaurant. Yeah, that could be it. There you go. That's what I'm going with. Evening, Frank. How are you, brother? Yep, Eggplant Frank, man. He's our friend. I mentioned him in Twitter. He's like, oh, no, what do I do now? Nothing, man. You're in our thoughts. I guess Brent's not going to make it here, man. I really wanted him to be here when I was telling this story. Tyranny, Kai ate my dog. Did someone say German Shepherd? Delicious, sweet, sweet. I would never eat a dog. Certainly not a German Shepherd. Especially man's best friend. It's just not in me, man. I keep an open mind for certain things are off limits. I think you guys all understand, right? For instance, if I were to visit a cannibal tribe, yeah, sorry, not going there. Not even going to visit them because, well, if they think they're going to get my spirit and say, wow, this person or never met somebody from the West, I want this man's spirit. No, I don't want any part of that. It's amazing what beliefs and stupidity can cause to happen in the human species. Well, any species, right? Kai ate my dog. No, he didn't. He would refuse to do so. So you might ask, Kai, why? What day is it, Kai? What national day is it? And I will tell you that today is National Tropical Fruit Day. That's right. Today is National Tropical Fruit Day. And let me take a moment to let you know I have a tropical fruit tree in my yard. I have 4 of them, actually. And they are called pawpaws, P-A-W, pawpaw trees. And the fruit bruises so easily that they're not sold in stores because they don't transport well. They just get bruised all to you know what. And so that is the so far as I know, that is the northernmost tropical fruit tree that happens to grow in Zone 6 here in Ohio. And it is the national fruit for the state of Ohio, actually. It's not the national, or the state, rather. It's the state fruit for Ohio is pawpaw. And it tastes like a banana custard, and the seeds from which syrup of ipecac was extracted. So something that's got a delicious banana custard flavor has a seed. They're very large, actually. They're oblong, they're oval-shaped seeds. And they look like rather large beans in a way, but, they're hard because they're seeds. And they make people vomit. So, that's the plant's mechanism to make sure that the seeds get expelled and maybe planted somewhere else. They eat the tasty fruit. And if the animal decides to ingest the whole seed and swallow it whole, well, they'll puke it out in another location, and the plant will propagate itself at great distances from where it could have been. That's just like my one friend's wife was. We're looking at the blue spruces, and she's like, "Why are all the pine cones up at the top of the blue spruce? Almost all the pine cones are way up towards the top." And then you just think in terms of evolution, what would benefit from that? Well, it's further away from the squirrels to get to eat. I guess that's a minor benefit because it's not like it's hard for them to crawl up taller, right? Then you'd say, okay, so what is the other benefits of it being up high? Well, the shape of the pine tree is somewhat triangular, right? And so the higher up it is, the further away that pine cone is likely to travel from the tree when it does finally drop. And the further away it travels away from that particular tree when it does drop, the better chances it has to be not competing with that tree for sunshine and space. And so you think in terms of that would make sense. Evolutionary speaking, that would make sense for that one to have an advantage over trees that didn't have the pine cones up as high. I don't know. It's kind of interesting when you propose things through reason and logic, and you can deduce things. You can also make wrong deductions too. But that's a hypothesis. And I did not eat your dog, Tyranny. I would never do such a thing. Pawpaw Sri Lankans eat that. Really? The pawpaw tree grows in Sri Lanka? That's interesting. I thought it was native to North America. And it might be. They just propagate them there as well. It's just like, we'll say English walnut trees, but they're not. They're Carpathian, right? They're originally from Iran, the walnut trees, but people say English walnuts, but the origin was, of course, was from Iran. And have walnut trees in the yard too. Damn squirrels. That's another subject. It's orangey color, says Ram. I think it's more like a yellowish for ours. I think there's different varieties, right? I think there are different varieties. They some of them have different flavors too, which is kind of interesting. And Ram says it makes me do a doo when I eat it, bro. Yeah. Well, natural diuretic, so to speak, perhaps, right? Orange color on the inside. Yeah, ours are a little more yellowish, I want to say, but there's different varieties. So, you might have one that has a little bit different color on it, or maybe it oxidates quickly and changes some color and somewhat. Anyways, I'm going to give my story about. I wanted to bring it up when Brent Monkhouse made it in here, but that's okay. We got plenty of Aussies in here. So yesterday, we had this absolutely delicious dinner Miss Honeybee put together. She caramelized some garlic. She takes the Brussels sprouts and she cuts them in half, and she puts them in the olive oil with the caramelized garlic, and she kind of nicely browns the Brussels sprouts, and then she might mix in just a little bit of balsamic vinegar, just a little bit, and so you get this delicious Brussels sprouts, and that was served along with a lovely piece of Australian lamb. And let me tell you, it wasn't bad. And this was the moment I'm like, we got some Australian lamb, and it was absolutely delicious. And here we are in Ohio. Now, I'm not a big fan of globalism, but I'll tell you what, I'm thankful for having Australian lamb in the house. And that was an absolutely delicious meal. Just fantastic. So much so that me and Honeybee, we went to the store because they had it on sale for what is less than $5 a pound. And we got 48 packs. Does that sound crazy? What's wrong with you? 48 packs of meat? What's wrong with you? Well, we got a 6-month supply. We can eat twice a week. So, I mean, I'm telling you, lamb is my favorite. It's really close. Sometimes I'll go between buffalo or bison and lamb being the favorite. But man, that lamb was so good. It doesn't go on sale very often. So now we got basically a 6-month supply. Yeah, well, of course, we throw it in the freezer, and we got a 6 months of supply. We can have it twice a week. Then when the buffalo goes on sale, now that's a little more expensive. But, lamb, less than $5 a pound from Australia, grass-fed, absolutely delicious. Anyways, here's to you, my Australian friends: Eggplant Frank, Ram, Skip, Flex 316, and Brent Moncaus. Here's to you guys, man. What a fantastic meal Honeybee put together last night. So thankful. Delicioso. Terry, damn Carpathians! We'll stop giving money to countries that hate us. Reminds me of a little cutout from the, from a convention, so to speak. Damn Carpathians. Yeah, it sounds like a group from Star Trek, right? Well, we are going to explore the surface of Carpathia. Did I get that right? I think that's right. Yeah, I think that's right. I like some Brussels sprouts. Sounds great with the garlic done that way. Oh man, it is nice. The garlic, like there's little chunks. Like maybe if you took the tip of your pinky finger, depending on the size you are, I guess. But if you took the tip of your pinky finger and said, "What's about an eighth of that? 1/8 of that." That's the size. They're like decent size. So you bite into them and chew into the piece of garlic. It's just and it's caramelized and there's some hidden carbs in there too, right? But man, just such a delicious flavor with the Brussels sprouts and just a tiny touch of balsamic vinegar, the kind that's viscous, the thick balsamic vinegar. If you only use a tiny amount, it's not that expensive because, you're only putting a tiny bit on there, right? It'll last you a long time. Delicioso, Waver. A lot to be thankful for. Having a great meal like that. And Ram says, Stuthi, thank you. Stuthi. That's kind of hard to pronounce. I will learn from you when I listen to your video, Ram. Stuthi, thank you. Thank you, meaning I said thank you, brother. Stuthi, yeah. I'll try to pronounce that better. Oh, yeah, so good. Yeah, Waver knows what I'm talking about. That garlic is the greatest. I am the greatest. Garlic. Yeah, garlic's awesome, man. Wild leeks, those are pretty good too. We've made homemade sausage with wild leeks as well in the past. Kind of pricey to do that. But that came out pretty good too. There's tons of garlic in our Italian beef sausage recipe. And we made 25 pounds of that last week. So we got plenty of that in the freezer. So we figure, once buffalo goes on sale, we'll have bison twice a week. We'll have lamb twice a week. We'll have our Italian beef sausage twice a week. And then we'll have some grass-fed beef too on one day a week. We got the whole week set for these dynamite carnivore ways. For the most part, carnivore. Baked Brussels sprouts with olive oil. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Delicioso. Baked. Yeah. Yeah, right. I've seen a lot of people do the baking of root vegetables and Brussels sprouts and that. That can be a tasty way to prep stuff, I tell you. Baked. Yeah, a lot of people get the wrong idea. People think fried, and they don't understand when people imply, what about fried foods? They're talking about like deep fried for the most part, right? Ram says, I'm the greatest. Muhammad Ali. That's right. I am the greatest. Gaseous Clay. That's where it comes from, Ram. Gaseous Clay was his name. Well, Cassius, rather. But I love to joke around with Gaseous. It was Cassius Clay was the name before Muhammad Ali changed his name. Jerry says, Star Trek was all about perverting, subverting, screwing up real history and weirdly overlapping with impossible future with half a straight face. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, there's a lot of different ways that they had the shows, right? A lot of different means by which they created the storylines. It was fun, man. I loved watching Star Trek. I saw all those reruns. Just enjoyed them. The word buffet is off my menu now. Maybe he means the word buffet. Now, why is that, Jerry? Why would the word buffet be off your menu? Prefer not to eat at buffets? Oh, okay, I got you. He's thinking about the umho gao, or well, let's just say dog food. Just put it that way. I could see that. That's a that's well reasoned logic there, Jerry. I get you. So, what other national day might you say? Is it Ky? Okay, we already went through National Tropical Fruit Day, and that was where my discussion of the pawpaw being the northernmost tropical fruit tree, and you can even tell the leaves actually kind of look like it's a tropical fruit tree. National Dole Whip Day. Okay, let's just imagine this isn't sponsored by some corporate purchase. National Dole Whip Day. I've never even heard of Dole Whip. So, well, there you have it. I guess your money was well spent. We'll move on to Get to Know Your Customers Day. That's, I don't know about you guys, but if you got customers, that's every day, man. If that ain't every day, well, you might not have that many customers. Right? And what other national day? Why, National Sour Candy Day. I'll pass. But National Sour Candy Day, if you like that sort of thing. I think I remember liking sour candies when I was a kid. I think I liked those. Ah, here's the other one. National Caviar Day. I'm trying to think if I've ever had caviar. I think I've tasted it before when I was in Hong Kong. Don't have much memory of it. I think it tasted all right. National Caviar Day. Let us know, folks. Have you ever had it? The fact that I'm trying to reach and think about it must mean it didn't make much of an impression on me, right? Lord knows it's something we can't afford. I'm not going to spend the kind of money people do on caviar. No way. No, I'll pass on the fish eggs. Thank you. No, thanks. Eggs? I like eggs. Fish eggs? Nah, not so much. I'll pass. Jerry says too much eating at one sitting. All right, the buffets. Yeah. Yeah, I agree, man. Yeah, it tends to be a gluttonous event, I guess, for a lot of people, right? Not the best. But hey, to each their own, you know. I mean, if they're only eating once a day or something and they decide to go that route, I guess I understand. The problem that I have with places like that is everything's breaded. So much has soy sauce. So much has all other kind of preservatives you can't even pronounce. They have, it's, for me, it's just it's a problem for me. I have a lot of food sensitivities, unfortunately. And so even I get troubled by soy. Soy could bother me, as silly as that might sound. So it's not an option for me typically, to be honest. And Jerry says, my old stuff, your face method no longer workable in my mid 60s. My old stuff, your face. Oh, stuff your face. Yeah, as in eating. No longer workable in my 60s. Yeah, right. I don't know. I imagine eating a binge eat like that might take its toll, right? Ross says Jerry came up with the idea for the food replicator. Oh, that'd be interesting to see her. The food replicator. Yeah, was that the actual terminology that they had? Was that the terminology in Star Trek? The food replicator or the replicator? Yeah. Yeah. The amazing thing about the food replicator, I thought, was it came served on porcelain and ceramic objects. You know, if it's replacing something, if it's replicating something that's a food, is it also replicating the vessels in which they're housed? Is it replicating the cups? Is it replicating the plates? You know, what part of that is not being replicated? I always want, you know, as a kid, you use your imagination. Sometimes, like I said, I'm guilty of overthinking things, and that goes back to even when I was a kid. Or was it the holodeck? Oh, interesting. Yeah, the holodeck that's pretty wild, man. It's like the simulation, right? Would we say that the holodeck is somewhat similar to the Matrix? Would we say that that would be the seed for the Matrix idea, so to speak, or at least a one way to view it? Kind of interesting, right? Ah, Miss Honeybee, yes, bringing up that rare tropical fruit, durian. Eat durian over caviar. Yeah, so I spent some time when I was in Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, and visiting a dear friend of mine that I went to engineering school with, and he introduced me to durian. And durian looks a lot like jackfruit. It's this huge, almost like a pineapple looking thing. It's just huge. It's got this surface that's similar to that of like a pineapple or jackfruit if you've seen them. Durian, very large. It's really high in niacin. And I shouldn't say really high, but it's high enough in niacin to make your ears flush. And it's a really pungent. You either love it or hate it. It stinks. And some people cannot stand the smell, and other people's don't mind it at all. And it's got a really distinct taste. And I was shocked that Miss Honeybee actually liked it too. And that was one of the foods that you have to keep in the garage. It's like, how many people here in this chat would say, yeah, I have this certain type of food that I have to keep in my garage. I don't think anybody has one of those. Well, this is one of those foods. If you got people in the household that hate the smell of durian, that's going to have to be in the garage, folks. It's one of those pungent, stinky fruits. I happen to love the taste of it. I thought it was absolutely delicious. It did make my ears turn red, though. And get this flushing, right, from niacin. Nope, Ross. I came up with Stargate adapted from 60s Star Trek. Well, there you go. Came up with Stargate. So, Jerry, tell me, did you come up with the line where the one dude, all pretty much most of what he says starts out with "indeed"? Indeed. That's the guy that wears the mascara. Indeed. I used to love that show. Yeah, they called it Replicator. Okay, yeah, that sounds about right. Thank you, Jerry. And Kirkland Reds, welcome in here, Kirkland Reds. Great to see you. And I'll make the distinction. Kirkland Red 100s. These are the long ones. Ky, you are smart. Is garlic native to North America? I keep finding different answers online. I don't know how smart I am, Kirkland. I don't know if garlic is native to North America. I think we could do a quick wiki search, right? Yeah. And we'll see what we can find out. It says, and that's the problem when you can't find references to stuff. It's like, I don't know about you, but if I just hear somebody say something, that's not enough for me. Like in your brain, you will take things that you hear that you know are absolutely true, or you've been able to verify from a second or third source, and so you will take that and you'll say, "Okay, man, that is rock solid. I'll store that in the area where I keep the granite. Like this is something that's firm. I've checked. This has been double checked. And this I hold as in being a truth." And then there's the stuff that like you look online or even some of these AI tools like ChatGPT, there's no reference. that is irresponsible, and I will not blindly follow any kind of information that doesn't have reference sources, right? So I think you bring up a great point here. Anyway, so yeah, I see probably what you saw. Allium sativum, garlic, is not native to North America, is what this says, but it can be found in the eastern half of the United States and along the West Coast. This is because garden garlic has escaped cultivation in many places, including the Northeast and Central Plains, and is now considered feral, meaning wild. Feral garlic has flat leaves that look like grass and smells garlicky. Well, is he talking about leeks? So I imagine leeks are native, but I don't know. Uh, garlic, yeah, perennial plant of the amaryllis family. Amaryllidaceae, grown from its flavorful bulbs. Yeah, okay. So you can get sources from Britannica, right? And so that's what it's looking like. I wish I could. I wish I had the time to get a double or triple source reference for you there, but that's what it's looking like. It's not native, so it's probably from Europe or Eurasia, so to speak. Could be. Good cussing though. Garlic source. Kirkland, appreciate the question, man. Yeah. It could even make a great martini, says Ross Dogs. Okay, let's. Where's he talking? Oh, the replicator. Right? Yeah. The safety protocols in the holodeck were constantly going offline. Yeah, right. Kind of reminds you of some of the quotes from The Matrix. The mind cannot survive without the body. Well, Neuralink's working on that. Well, I should say Dean Kurtzwell's working on that. He wants to upload the mind, which look, you can copy something. If you copy something, doesn't mean you have the original, right? There may be subtleties and nuances that you have no clue. It's like when you're limited in knowledge and you're limited in understanding of something that functions, you can think that you've captured everything and not. And you may, in fact, not have even captured what is essentially an essence of something because you're not even aware that it exists. So there may be things that just are not understood, may not be understood for a very long time. And interpreting and assuming such is just, that's a record for trying something and finding out that you sure don't know a lot more than you think than you thought you didn't know. There's a lot more you don't. That happens. And it's humbling. Ross says, and Data ran amok every other episode. Yeah, Data had some issues, didn't he? Correct, Ky. The Matrix is based on a TNG holodeck episode. Is that true? Is that actually true? I mean, it makes sense from a logical standpoint. So that's quite interesting. That's pretty cool, Ross. Jerry says the real life super soldiers who have alien tech replicators say it's rather bland food when meat, not the same. The lower paid tiers get crappy food, higher paid get real food. Okay, interesting. He says, nope, I'm not a writer of scripts, but a creator, originator, all one shot outline. Yeah, well, the big picture is often very important. Maybe Mrs. Honeybee is used to a pungent smell around. Oh, come on, Terry. Terry's referring to me, that stinky Italian. He's referring. Yeah, I know you guys. You got that guinea charm, that olive oil voice. Yeah, that stinky garlic armpits. Is that what you're saying, Terry? Maybe Miss Honeybee is used to a pungent smell around. Terry, if you cut me, do I not bleed? If you spit on me, do I not get wet? Yes. How dare you? You offend me so deeply. Kirkland says, so pilgrims or other people brought it here. Yeah, it could be. Could be pilgrims. It could be any number of people that traveled right from abroad. Good night, Brother Ky, and B. Hugs to my sister. Good night, Ram. I hope you have a great night. Thanks for spending your evening here with us. Good to see you. Night donks, bro. Ky, enjoy David Hasselhoff's music. Ross, not so much, man. Not so much. I don't think he's a terrible singer, but not a fan. Sorry, Ross. Well, I'd love to know if are you a fan, Ross? Yeah. Good night. He says good night to Frank, our dear friends in Australia. Jerry says YouTube page James Rink, Super Soldier Talk. Okay, that's where he's getting that from, the reference. Good night, Brother Ram. Have a good night. And Rostock says, yes, it's true. I've been saying they ripped off the Matrix storyline from Star Trek for years. No kidding. I just happened to have that thought randomly there, Rostogs. I didn't think too much about it, but then when you put me in the moment, and it just occurred. Yeah, that makes sense, though, doesn't it? Interesting. Jerry says the real super soldiers widespread via alien tech military alliances. Well, one of the fascinating things to think about is once you're able to genetically engineer, you're going to want to genetically engineer for deep space travel, right? I mean, if you're really interested and there's no advancement in technology and able to travel at higher speeds, you're going to want to do genetic engineering to, because you're not going to want people to, this is my opinion, you're not going to want people to go on these super long voyages. I don't know. It's interesting to theorize or hypothesize, I should say, as to what kind of genetic engineering. You're going to have a super low metabolism with the super high intelligence, and you're going to have a certain amount of dexterity. And if you try to optimize for the least amount of protein required to thrive, not just survive, but rather thrive on the least amount of food possible, you can imagine what types of engineering would be required to arrive with a being that would have those qualities, that would have those things. And I gotta believe if you're optimizing for such function, you're going to have something that doesn't at all look like a human. So it's kind of interesting to hypothesize what that could result in. It's kind of creepy in a way too, right? Don't want to be messing around too much with such things on one side, right? At the end of the episode, they are not sure if they are still on the holodeck or reality. Yeah, there's a lot of movies that kind of delve into that type of questioning of reality. LOL at Tyranny. Happy birthday, man. Waver, are you laughing at him typifying me as a stinky, garlicky smelling Italian? How dare you, Waver? I'm so deeply offended. Terry's like, ha ha, peace, Waver. That's right. We're making fun of that dude. My material sent to Roddenberry as sci-fi was so close to the unknown to me, reality, that Star Trek used it. That's cool, man. That's something to be really proud of, Jerry. Very, very cool. And something to be really proud of, man. What a sense you must have of accomplishment with your past. Many have traveled for far. I love this. Many have traveled for abroad. He's not talking about traveling abroad. He's talking about traveling for abroad. And well, I'm sure there are many broads that are worth traveling for. Is that right? Did I get the broad perspective on the answer there, Terry? Let me know. Or would you like something more broad about the explanation and interpretation of your broad comment? Anyways, Kirkland Red 100 says, I tell my son every day that if he gets a chance to colonize Mars, he needs to go. Well, there's some long distance love affair there. I am so excited about the potential humanity has to have a backup station and location for human consciousness, right? I mean, you never know what the world's future holds, right? Even we got to start with a base on the moon. Let's be honest. Let's be practical. The best place to start and to work from a location from which you can return quite easily would be to have a base on the moon. And so you can learn a tremendous amount from doing that. And so that's exciting. So that's the first step, in my opinion. And that is really exciting. And then the thought of colonizing Mars is really exciting too. I think that it's really, there needs to be a backup plan for humanity. Okay, we know that certain events have happened on this Earth. We know it. It's a fact. You know, many can hypothesize as to why and where that oil and all that organic material, what happened that created all that organic material deep below the Earth's current crust. You know, we know that some bad things happened here, and so you know, it's only reasonable to think you should have a backup base on the moon and maybe on the red planet too. Hopefully on the red planet. I think being within the orbit of the Earth, the moon, is not quite a good enough insurance plan for humanity. That's my take. So that's pretty cool, Kirkland. I think that's a great way to inspire the young, right? Just the imagination. I think there's just such great potential. The Matrix and Terminator 2 used my morphing graphics concept to digitize pixels with computers. 1987 sent to Roddenberry to spread the knowledge to Hollywood makers from 3,000 miles away. Very interesting, Jerry. Very interesting. Waver says, with him. Uh-oh. Many have traveled for abroad. And I think Terry's saying, well, Ky traveled with him, or she traveled with him. Or maybe that's not right. I don't know. Hey, Gasha says, my great-grandfather was from Hungary, but he had something to eat, and so he was no longer from there. I'm sorry, Gasha, forgive me. I had some great ethnic Hungarians. Actually, one, his grandfather fled. He fled communism, man. He was brought to the States and made a citizen because of he was, politically ostracized. And some great people, great Americans, hail from Hungary. Anyways, my great grandfather was from Hungary, but I'm such a mutt of ethnicities. It is hard to say what I really am. All I know mostly is that I have a lot of German. Well, Gaseous, I think it's an interesting comment. I would just ask you to take a moment to think about how few the differences are between peoples. There's so tiny amount of differences in polymorphisms, in other words, the genes that we all have. There's so few differences in the genes. It kind of erases the notion of ethnicities. It really does in a lot of ways. And once we start viewing humanity as a race, it's humans. I'm a human. You're a human. I think we'll all be better off when we get to that point where, there is something to be proud of from cultures, though. That I'll say. There's a lot to be proud of from German culture. There's a lot to be proud of from Hungarian culture. A lot of great foods and customs. It's just, man, there's so much joy to be had from the diverse backgrounds in that it's something to celebrate. But having more than one, what a gift, man. What a gift to have all those different things combined in your self, right? I think it's something to celebrate. In fact, you can decide I'm more of this today, and then the next day you can decide I'm more of that. I mean, that's pretty cool. I think I'm 1/16 Greek. So yeah, some days I'm gonna have some Euro meat, man. Oh, Miss Honeybee puts together. Oh, that's one of the things she said. Now that we got lamb, she's gonna make her Euro meat recipe. People call them gyros too, but she makes this recipe with the Euro meat. I want to say one of the ingredients in it is it's not parsley, it's oregano. One of the ingredients in her Euro meat is oregano. And I'm telling you, when she makes that Euro meat, it is absolutely delicious. So some days I'll celebrate. Yeah, I'm feeling Greek today. Don't take that the wrong way. It's Greek to me. And some days you'll be like, I feel Italian. And then there's that 1/16. It's something to celebrate. So take all the joys in, man. That's the great thing about the great American melting pot. One of the interesting things about a country like ours is that if there was ever a bioweapon that was selective for certain polymorphisms that are more prevalent in certain ethnic peoples, well, the country that's least vulnerable to that is the one that has the most diversity. And so that's kind of one of the other great things about our country being the great melting pot. We have such genetic diversity here, more than probably anywhere. Well, I don't know. They talk about the most genetic diversity you can find is probably where the oldest population resides. The oldest, meaning like there are places in Africa where they will find amazing diversity in the genome, just amazing diversity, and that is usually signifies some of the oldest populations have the most diversity in the genomes. If you look in terms of evolution, it kind of makes sense. But that is one of the great things about our country. Kirkland says, wouldn't we have to genetically modify animals too? Chickens can't travel in space, or maybe they can. What about cows and sheep? Yeah, so Kirkland, I think that's a great point. And from the standpoint of who we are right now, yeah, I mean, that's a legitimate question. But if you're looking in terms of genetically engineering a being that is suited for deep space travel, that has extreme longevity, in other words, maybe has parts of the genome that are part of that one jellyfish that has infinite life, or maybe there's components that allow this spacefaring being that is maybe genetically engineered. I don't know. I'm just going off the rails here on the imagination side for that. But yeah, this is one of the things for just the Mars mission alone. It's long duration, right? And they got to have food to eat. And I think that they, at some point, I think they will arrive at this conclusion. I don't think they're there yet, but this is what I hypothesize, and I could be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think they will arrive at the conclusion that a ketogenic diet is the optimal diet to have the engineers and PhDs that are going to be the people going to Mars initially, because you want to be optimized for the lowest amount of calories with the best proteins. And I'm sorry, man, but all the research shows the best proteins come from meat. We evolved to eat, we evolved to eat meat. That's my take on it. That's my hypothesis. And I think that you will see that people that do so thrive. Anyways, it is interesting. And I think the folks on the missions for NASA, the great thing about it is you can really get small sizes of items if you freeze dry foods. And I think they're going to for long duration missions, you're going to have a lot of freeze dried foods that are, they'll be able to, they'll have recycled water, right? They'll be able to hydrate the foods, reconstitute them, so to speak. And I think that's the way they'll go with the meals in the future for those missions. It's interesting to think about, though, isn't it? It's exciting. The Starship is just amazing. Well, we got to get rolling out here, man. The guy's coming in at 9:00. Morning show with CC Joe and Kahuna Nui. I want to call him Fireball Kahuna Nui. He might not like that though, so I'll get his opinion. Anyways, Jerry says Mars is populated underground cities, likewise moon for ages, but we are not welcome on the moon, says Jerry. Well, we'll just have to see if that's true, Jerry. I appreciate your input and your take on that. We always keep an open mind here. Terry says they recently found caves on the moon for a moon station. Right. Yeah, I saw that. I talked about that a little bit yesterday, just in terms of how those may have been formed. Are they ancient lava chutes? What are those? How did they form? Were they impact sites where the impact was directly normal to the surface, and the composition of the material on the moon in that area was such that maybe it was just penetrated. We don't even know what that material is like. That area may happen to be like giant piles of particulate material, or who knows. So what appears to be a cave may not have legitimate structure. We'll see. We'll have to see and learn from it, right? I have pics of Mars people and animals. Search Jerry Lehane, Mars. Images, probably. Okay, yeah, images. Somehow you're getting the F on the G. That's all right. Hey, Joey, man. My brother's in here. Great to see you, Joey. I'm looking forward to it. We're going to roll out here because these guys are ready to take the stage, man. Definitely. I'm going to try to read these real quick because we got to roll out to the outro soon. Thanks for subscribing, folks. If you would, please subscribe to Ky and Friends, the YouTube channel. It's really hard to get subscribers. Joey was burst onto the scene. We don't have the talent Joey does to be able to do it like he did. So we're going to have to just try to do this the long haul way. Anyways, Waver says, why is the dark side of the moon always dark? The moon doesn't rotate. That always seems weird to me and really scary. Well, we could talk about that more tomorrow. I think there's a lot of miscommunication that's happening with regard to that subject, in my opinion. We'll get into that tomorrow. Thanks for bringing that up and remind me, Waver. Hey, I am over here. Hey, I'm over here now. Good morning, Joey. It's not dark, Waver. Sun doesn't discriminate with light. Andrew Dice Kirkland. That's funny. Cool, Jerry. I didn't think about that. We just don't have a view of the dark side of the moon. This is Jerry. My uncle said we also have Irish. Okay, guys. I'm sorry. I can't get through all the chat here. Forgive me. I've been running my mouth too much. But we're gonna roll out of here. Thanks for subscribing, folks. We really appreciate you. Let's hit the outro, guys. Definitely stay here at Catalano TV. Great source for entertainment.
Joey C and Honey C laughing loud on TV. Ky with those guitar leads, Spider's drum beat melody. Honeybee laughs and sneezes, good vibes always pleases. Kahuna Nui never slow, makes the good times flow. Catalano TV, fun for you and me. Epic jams every night, under the spotlight. Tunes that make you sway, watch the troubles fade away. Every note a celebration, join the blue sensation. Friends all gathered round, living in the sound. Joy in every beat, dancing in our seat. Catalano TV, fun for you and me. Epic jams every night, under the spotlight.